welcome back to another episode of Successful, Wealthy, and Confident. I'm your host, Priscilla, and today I wanted to talk about NLP. The reason I wanted to talk about NLP is because I've always been a lifetime learner. I love learning. I love learning new things about the same thing that I have learned about previously. And I am NLP certified. I'm a neuro-linguistic practitioner, and it's been a while since I have studied it, so I decided recently to go back into it and study it again and see if I can get new things from the things I've already studied. And I'm taking away new life lessons from NLP that I was taught about previously, but never really sunk in until now. And I want to share it with you so that hopefully it can help you in your life. So one of the things that we talk about in NLP, by the way, just to give you a brief definition of what NLP is, it's spelled out as neuro-linguistic practitioner. So it's basically, I like to look at it as the lost manual of the mind, right? Neuro, the mind, the neuro connections in our brains, linguistic, language, put that together, and it's just like, how does our language impact our reality? And the answer is huge. What we declare becomes our reality. So if you tell yourself, I am amazing, I am a badass, I'm gonna walk into this office and kick some ass, or I'm gonna walk into this interview and get this job, that's what's gonna happen. So it's a very empowering thing to study. And I have always been in love with it. And I think it's just so thick for me that it'll take me a couple times of reviewing it and learning it for things to sink in. And there were certain aspects of NLP that I really want to share with you. And this might be there might be more parts coming because I'm taking it really slow so that everything can sink in. And I just really want to share with you a couple of the recent things I've learned and how it's really helped me in my own mentality in life. So in NLP, there's a thing called NLP communication model. So here for the video, I'll explain this in the audio, but for the video, this is kind of the model that I'm talking about. And by the way, I'm learning everything from Transform Destiny, amazing company. So the NLP communication model basically describes how we look at reality and process it. And it is proof that reality is a subjective experience. It's not an objective experience, it's a subjective experience. Whatever information we receive, we create the meaning. But the reality is that there is no meaning except for the meaning that we give it. So we're in this reality and we gain all of the information through our five senses, right? Sight, hearing, touch, smell, taste. That's how we receive information. Now, the mind is connected in two very different ways. So first we have the subconscious mind. Those are the workers. The subconscious mind processes 2.3 million bits per second. Now, there's research going on that could be more, that could be less. It depends on how you measure the bit, but it is an incredible amount of information that our minds are constantly recording all at once. If you put somebody in hypnosis after having gone to dinner with a friend, they can actually recite other conversations nearby that they weren't even consciously listening to. But because our subconscious minds are so powerful, it records everything around us. The mind is amazing. It's really, really cool stuff. So that's the subconscious mind, and the conscious mind is what we use when we're awake. Now, our conscious mind handles only about 126 bits per second. So putting that in percentages, our subconscious mind has 99.994% of all of the information that's coming in. We don't even use 10% of our minds. We don't even use 1%. We use 0.004% of our mind's capacity when we're consciously awake. Okay? So essentially, we're not getting all the information. What happens is we receive this information, we delete, we distort, we generalize, depending on our mood, time, location, language, memories, decisions, belief systems, what we believe to be true, our values, and our identity. What that means is that, especially how we identify, our identity is the top tier. It's how we operate. Somebody who is a mother will prioritize their life very differently than somebody who is just a single person, right? So our identities mean a lot. It dictates how we operate. And you can define identity easily by saying anything after I am. Anything after I am is your identity. So if you tell yourself, I am smart, I am intelligent, that's how your mind hears, your subconscious mind hears everything you're consciously saying. And one of the things about the subconscious mind is that it takes everything personally. So if you have a habit of gossiping about people, if it's good gossip, then keep it up. If it's not, your subconscious mind is literally taking that to mean you're talking about yourself, and it will operate so from this, our behaviors are so we take on the stimulus, right? Depending on how we identify as a person, our values, our belief systems, what we think we're capable of, all trickles down into what our minds actually deletes, distorts, and generalizes. Okay? So what that means is if you are feeling, insecure, for example, you're trying to get a new job. And if you have all of these negative thoughts that you're never going to get a job, and you go through that spiral, your mind is listening to you. So because our subconscious mind is taking in so much information, your subconscious mind can literally delete certain opportunities that are right in front of you because you have this belief system that you can't do it. Right? Your subconscious mind could you could be browsing Indeed and browse over the perfect job for you because you would look at that job and be like, oh, I'm not right for it. I'm not good enough. All these limiting beliefs. Your subconscious mind is trying to conserve as much energy as possible that it's not going to even show you those opportunities. Okay? And this works with not only opportunities, but how you act around other people in this world and the type of person you are. If you believe that there's only one way to make something happen, and it might not be the best way, but it's the way you think you're going to get the best result, that's what you're going to do. So all of this translates into our actions, which leads to our results. So what do we do with this information? Well, if we're able to change our filters to something that's very empowering, my dream job is out there and I'm going to get it. Your subconscious mind will hear that and be like, okay, you're gonna get it. Let me find it for you. And the opportunities are just gonna spill into your conscious reality. Okay? So the reason I wanted to kind of describe the NLP model of communication first is because there are assumptions that you can take as an NLP practitioner that will allow you to get better results. Something that never really clicked for me before but has now is the particular presupposition or assumption that people are doing the best that they can with the resources that they have available. Now, that never really clicked for me until the second time around I looked at this NLP model of communication and I'm like, wait a minute. Depending on this person's belief system, they may think that they don't have another choice, or their values, right? I'm not super honest. I can bend the truth a little bit, right? I'm putting myself first. I'm not a very loyal person. So in order to get what I want, I'm going to, backstab, because that's not an important value to me, right? People have their own rules for themselves, their own standards for themselves, okay? And it is built within their whole mind, their whole system. So if there is a way to be honest, if there is a way to be honorable, truthful, kind, but that doesn't align with that person's internal identity and how they identify, they're not going to be able to even see the other options that are available to them. You get me here? So it's so important to choose to be honorable, to choose to be honest, to choose to be loving and kind, because that impacts how you actually see reality and the choices that you have available to you. So this presupposition really, really hit me very deeply. People are doing the best with the resources they have available, with the options that they think they have available to them. This has been a very big, just peaceful belief to attain. As a practitioner as well, because you can look at somebody and say, so this person isn't their behavior. These are the options they think they have available. Let me help them figure out better, more empowering options that allow them to be a little bit more of who they want to be, right? People are doing the best they can with the resources they have available. And it is up to you to decide to have more resources available to you. And it is up to you to decide that there are more options for you than you can currently see. Because once you do, your mind is going to open up to it. Your subconscious mind is going to bring those opportunities forward to you. It's just been a very profound belief to attain. I feel so much more free. I feel so much more free from all of the things that not only I've done to other people, right? Because this applies to me as a person, this applies to you as a person, but it also applies to the people who have hurt you in the past. And when you just sit back and you're just like, holy shit, we're all just doing the best that we can. Let's decide to do better. We can decide to do better. You can decide to create new values for yourself and new belief systems and new identities and become the person that you actually want to be. Who wants to be angry all the time? Who wants to be resentful all the time? No one. Really nobody. It's just that life weighs us down. We have experiences, we have heartbreaking moments, and it changes us. And I wish that wasn't a fact of being a human, but it is. We came here to have a human experience, and one of those experiences will always be heartbreak, one way or the other, in one form or the other. But you can either look at this heartbreak and choose to have it impact you in a negative way or in a positive way. Atrocities that have happened in your life, you can either choose to have it make you bitter and angry and tense and antisocial and not friendly, right? Mean. You got hurt, so you want to hurt everybody else. Or you can look at this heartbreak and say, okay, this clearly wasn't the best option, but this person was doing the best they could with the resources they thought that they had available. And so I'm going to let that go. I'm going to cut that cord. I'm going to cut that negative emotion. I'm going to release it. And in its place, I'm going to take the learnings from it. And it doesn't even need to be a big learning. It can literally just be, I am kinder to people because of the wrongs that these people caused me. I am more loving. I am more compassionate. I am more empathetic. I listen. I hear people. I can take accountability for my actions. I can put my pride aside and really put myself in that person's position and say, okay, that person was hurt, so they hurt me. And I'm going to let that go, and I'm going to release that, and I will not continue that cycle. And that is what healing is. That is what being free from any hardship that you've had in the past, that is what it means to be free. Yeah, so I heard that belief in the beginning. People are doing the best with the resources they have available, but it never really clicked for me until now. Because sometimes you have to go through experiences and be like, okay, I was fucked up. I was a little fucked up. And I'm a little bit hurt by it. And then you take some time, months, years, and then you realize, oh my gosh, only insecure people really feel the need to bully others, right? Only unhappy people really want to bring somebody else down. Now, the trick is finding people that lift you up. You ever notice that where you are speaking to somebody and you leave the conversation super drained, right? Or you leave the conversation super hyped up because that person had great energy and that person made you feel loved and welcome. And even if you're meeting somebody for the first time, right? You can choose to just be yourself and be kind and sweet or whatever characteristics that you identify with the most, and just watch the kind of connections that you make. So it's okay to give people that have hurt you in the past grace, because you deserve that grace as well. And then when you let that go, you realize that there's an abundance of love in this world. And there's an abundance of good-hearted people that are just doing the best they can with the resources they have available. And I think that there's just going to be levels to it. There's going to be people who haven't necessarily, aren't willing to look at their shadows, right? So they always do the same mistakes. They always treat people poorly. They always continue the same cycle. And then there's people who are willing to look at themselves and are willing to do better and are, taking the steps necessary. Okay? So demand better for yourself. Demand good-hearted people to be around you. I'll never forget this. There's this saying, you are the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And so take a minute and think about the 5 people that you have spent the most time with. Are they happy? Are they content? Are they successful? Do they actually make a goal and follow through with it? Right? And it's good to kind of be the person, be in a room where there's extremely smart people around or extremely successful people around. It can be intimidating, right? If you haven't reached the same level. But how exciting it is that we feed off of each other so much that making these kind of connections can change our lives, build friendships. So there's 2 things that I want this podcast to do. I want this podcast to help you create peace with the person you feel most resentful towards, or the person that has wronged you the most in the past. I want you to look at them and give them grace and realize that they are doing the best they can with the resources they have available. Once you release that, I want you to look at the abundance of love that you have in your life. And if you're going, hey, Priscilla, I don't have anybody in my life that loves me. Well, I love you. I love you. And you can listen to this podcast as many times as you like. You can go on all of my social medias. I will always be there for you because I love you. I want the best for you. I want you to live your best life. We're going to do it together. Everything's going to be okay. You are very loved. And not just me. I'm going to get woo-woo for a second. There is a team of spirits behind you, loving you, guiding you. We got angels, we got ancestors, we got all kinds of spirit guides with different kind of forms that we wouldn't even comprehend as humans. But we're never alone. There are entities that we can't see, but they're there behind our backs, taking care of us, one hand on our shoulder, guiding us. You're never alone, and everything's going to be okay. And it's time. This is your invitation to release what no longer serves you, because you deserve the world. You deserve to walk into this world having let go of that chair attached to your leg, slowing you down. Anyways, I hope that this podcast has helped you really release what no longer serves you. And I want you to know that you deserve the best in life. And we all deserve the best in life. And it is okay to not only want that, but demand it and declare it, right? What you demand and declare, your language becomes your inevitable reality. So speak kindly to yourself, speak kindly about others, and demand the life of your dreams. I love